Hey, it's V again, and I've just run through a book called The Last Hour Between Worlds by Melissa Caruso. I thought the title was pretty cool. This story takes place in a universe where I guess you could say there are 12 different layers to reality. So you have the top layer, which is referred to as Prime, and this is kind of like the most ordinary layer, like the layer where most people, like regular people, live. And then you have 11 different layers that are referred to as echoes. Actually, the word echoes gets used to refer to a lot of things in this universe. Like it can be about either like the layers below Prime, or it can also refer to the denizens that live within each layer. And the term echo is used because the things that exist in these other layers of reality are essentially echoes of things that exist in Prime. So like you'll have, say, a person in Prime will have typically 11 different echoes, like one in each of the other universes, and those echoes can't really die as long as the person that they are echoes of still exists. And the same is true of things like buildings. So, you might have a building in Prime, and then that building will have different versions of itself in each of the different echo layers. But the farther down you get, in terms of the layers of reality, the more distorted things become and the more fluid and dangerous it is, because a lot of like within these other layers, reality is very malleable, and a lot of times it can get pretty macabre, I guess. So this story is set in a city-state, like at a party. So in this universe, they have different guilds represented by various animals that handle different types of jobs. So the main character, Kembrel, is a hound, and it sounds like they kind of do like jobs that require like protecting people or saving people, finding people, and things like that. But at the start of the story, she is getting some free time because she just recently had a baby, and this is really the first time she's gotten out of the house since then. And she's attending a big party at a mansion. Like this is a year turning party. Like that's what they it's a celebration to mark like the end of a year and the beginning of another. Only at this party, things start getting really, really strange. Like the first sign, I guess, that something is going wrong when people start dropping dead for no apparent reason, but like the clock strikes and then suddenly the people who were dead are no longer dead. So she ends up having to collaborate with a cat, which is the guild in this world that has like their thieves and assassins and spies and so on, to try to figure out what's going on. And it's all partly tied to this clock, which is an echo relic. So echo relics are artifacts that come out of the echoes, and they often have different unique properties. It sounds a bit like they may also be things that don't tend to change form as much, like when you go through different layers, because that appears to be a sign, I guess, that something is an echo relic. Anyways, they have different powers, and this particular clock, like every time it strikes, it's sending the entire party, like everyone attending it and so on, down one layer of reality. And it's also resetting like all the people in it. So the people who die get rewound, I guess you could say. So that's why they all come back to life. It's a little bit like a time loop, only not exactly. So yeah, it's mainly Kembrel and Rika working together because trying to solve the mystery of why this is happening, trying to prevent people from dying, and trying to pull everyone through this event alive. Because as you get, like, it's not safe to travel down in reality layers. Like I said, it gets more and more strange and more dangerous. And on top of everything, like they discover like that the clock and the party all seems to be part of some strange ritual that involves like the shedding of blood in each layer. So there's a lot of things that they have to worry about and protect, and in order to like piece together what's going on enough so that they can protect everyone and get help people survive. So let's see. Some things I liked. So I enjoyed watching the main characters work out I guess the mystery of what's going on, and also explore, I guess, the layers of reality that they find themselves in, like, because they do kind of have to, like, I always thought it was interesting how whenever Campbell had to leave the mansion, like, to try to find resources that they might need, like, in the echo where they are, like she'll take stock of whether the air seems breathable, whether the ground seems safe to walk on, like what kind of things happened to the buildings. Like there are certain things that I guess that she has to pay attention to in order to make sure that she doesn't get killed or otherwise harmed in some way, and she has quite a lot of experience in this regard because as a hound, like she takes a lot of echo retrieval missions, since one of her specialties is something they call blink stepping, where she can I guess kind of temporarily walk out of time and space, and it gives her a lot of flexibility. Like it helps her stay alive, it helps her deal with dangerous opponents, helps her deal with dangerous places, like because of the flexibility it gives her in walking through realities and the places where reality is thin. I also appreciated how even though the world was like the imagery and stuff does get increasingly bizarre, like I don't think it's particularly gruesome. So let's see. Something I did not like. There wasn't really anything that I didn't like, but I did kind of wish that the story showed a bit more of the city and stuff beyond the party, like because the focus of the story and the part of the world that is getting dropped through the different echo layers is the mansion and the people inside. The party is the main setting for everything, and you don't really hear as much about what life is like on the day to day. Like, I mean, I kind of understand why it doesn't, since the story has a lot to cover as is, but you get to see the characters walk out of the mansion and explore bits of like the other echo layers, but you don't actually get that in the prime layer, like the layer where their everyday lives take place. And I kind of wanted to see just a little bit more of that because I had a little bit of a hard time really visualizing, I guess, what it would be like to be a person in this city.